Giants going there like a bunch of crazed dogs.
Camera. How about them Giants? How about them Giants? How about them Giants?
Woo! What's happening, people? Welcome to another episode of Giants Rush. And your boys in blue are rolling into MetLife as camp is kicking off for rookies and vets, and they're all rolling in. So you got your wish. It's finally here. Football season's here. I got Truth, and I've got Sean in the building. We'll talk a little bit about bubble players, who's going to make the team, who's going to get cut. We will definitely talk about that analytic company that refuses to say anything nice about the Giants, who ranked their running back room 32nd in the NFL, which we all know is just a New York bias. It's a New York bias, people. How many years in a row can the media say bad things about the Giants? That's all they want to do. That's all that makes them happy, is tell you how bad Russell Wilson is, or how Dexter Lawrence isn't great, or how Banks isn't any good. Now they're telling you that Tyrone Tracy isn't any good. That's the New York bias. It is what it is. Giants got to go out and play, prove them wrong, let them know that they are on the come, and it is going to be a good ride. Get on board. Welcome to Giants Rush. We're here every Monday. Yeah, we're here every Monday, and it's usually at 7:30. So a couple guys got off. They're on vacation, so I'm hoping you're hanging out. I'm going to take a lot of questions today. I'm going to bring in these guys here, which you probably already know, but it's always worth bringing these guys in. Let's hit Truth, because we haven't seen Mike in a couple weeks. You know how it is. Mike's on the golf course. And also,
You can't handle the truth.
no, you can't handle the truth. Mike, what's up?
What's going on?
It's finally here, Mike. It's finally here. Football's here.
I know.
Well, Mike,
I know. And
you're frozen up, Mike. You're frozen up. Mike, try dropping out, Mike, and coming back in. Mike's all frozen up. Let's bring in Sean.
Miss the fireworks.
There won't be any fireworks.
And here we go.
Boom, what's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on, man? How we doing, Craig?
We are good because camp's here. Everyone's got their wish. Football has basically begun. We've got rookies. We've got veterans all back in the house. And there's plenty to talk about, especially with when I find that, that preseason rankings come out for the stuff. And, I find it's a New York basis, and I'm always right. So we're just going to tell you that it's a New York basis, a bias on just crap on the Giants. It's crap on the Giants because it's easy to do.
Yeah, it sells. It gets clicks. It sells, whatever, articles, whatever it is. It's just low-hanging fruit, as we like to say. But you know what? That's right. Let them all sleep on us. It's on us to prove them wrong. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, because it gets old after a while. You'd like them actually to do some homework, actually look into what's being done. You know what? Let's compare. And you know what? Let's bring in Truth. See if he's got a better connection. Let's see if we get there. Mike, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah. You sound good now,
Yeah,
Mike.
much
There
better.
you go. All right. So Truth, I was just saying that I find there's as a New York bias. Media wants to take the easy way out. They don't want to actually do the research, Mike. They don't want to do any work, so you just slap a "you suck" tag on the Giants every time they get a chance. It's a "you suck" tag. They can find anything, Mike, and say it's not good enough when it comes to the Giants. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, the Giants haven't been good for many years. In a couple of seasons sprinkled in, right? 2016 and 2024, 23.
2022 is the playoff year.
22. So it's easy to knock them down. It's a safe bet to knock them down. I think I heard some of stuff that Sean said. Let's just see how they do on the playing field. I know it's a tough schedule, So let them perform on the field. Let them do the talking on the field.
Yeah. But, and I agree, they do have to win games to get positive media, right? But I'm
Yeah.
always like, why can't we just try to be a little bit more analytical and just instead of saying you suck or you're going to be no better, you're going to be bottom of this, bottom of that, bottom of this. Like it can't always be that way, Mike. Mike, every year it's the Giants that be the bottom. So it can't just every year. It can't be. We can't be the bottom every year.
Well, I mean, I saw what I don't know what we're going to talk about first, but you bring that up. What we're going to talk about first, but I have some interesting notes about that. Some of the things that we're going to talk about today and how they came up with the PFF people.
Yeah, I don't even mention the name anymore, Sean, because I'm just tired of giving them any type of publicity. Because I'll say it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. I spoke to an analyst at that analytic company that you guys all think are great. And when they told me that half sacks in their metric system register as full sacks, it automatically threw anything in my eyes, what they do, out the window. Like literally like breaking the glass and falling to the pavement, Sean, because you know what? Half sacks aren't full sacks. Half sacks means that I didn't do it by myself, that I had someone else there to help me. Why would I get credit for that?
It's crazy how they do it. And then also ESPN came out with like the roster as the 27th ranked roster. Now listen, you got some upgrades. I don't buy. I get what the win total was last year, but you had some new people. You have this. I don't believe that the roster is just talent alone is the 27th in the league. So it's again, they got to prove it. They got to do what they got to do. But our roster is better than 27th in the league. You can't compare otherwise.
Heck yeah. Because why? It's so super easy just to not have to do any work. Work would require you to look into stuff. Like Mike says. Mike just said they got to play on the field, right? I get all of that. But realistically, if the Giants and the ratings are came out of the Giants have the 32nd ranked offensive running back room. And my question is like, okay, so Tracy has 1,200 yards all purpose or 1,100 yards all purpose. The guy was a wide receiver. First time, he's a rookie. He's drafted in what? The 6th round, Tracy?
Fifth, I think.
Fifth round.
Yeah.
All right. Was it 5th, Mike?
Yeah.
All right. So he's drafted in the 5th round. He was a wide receiver, for the most part of his college career. And he's running behind an offensive line, that's not top 10. It's not even top 15. And let's not forget that he was out for the first couple weeks, right? Because Singletary was starting. Mm-hmm. So how do you rank a room that the focus back as a rookie, pulls down 1,200 yards all purpose and didn't get a start till week 3 or 4? I want to know what the logic is. Are we comparing him to, like who are we comparing him to? Are we comparing him to like Pacheco? Like are we comparing him to, Barkley? Are we comparing him to like who? Like it doesn't make sense. Most of these running backs are high picks, running behind good lines, Sean, but we just automatically get the 32nd rank because it would require them to do work.
Yeah, what? I mean, listen, Devin Singletary's no slouch. I mean, it's not like he's a scrub, right? And then you draft a rookie in Scatabo who's going to do some things. And like you said, I mean, Tracy, if he starts every game last season, he hits 1,000 yards rushing. I agree. I believe that. Now, I don't know who to compare against. I'm trying to think of other teams that are that much better. And I didn't look at the list because I didn't really look at it because I don't like giving them any kind of credence. So I was just like, you got to be kidding me. 32nd. There's no way. There's just zero way.
Well,
zero
look,
way
I'll toss it to the peeps, right? I know Cold's out there, Mark B's out there. Guys are coming in the room now, a little bit late. But like, tell me, Give me those top 10 running backs and let me know if any of them were drafted in the 5th round and have a, Mark B. Totally, I know. I care less about rankings too, but I'm just curious of how they got there, because it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of effort that goes in. The only effort they make is to put them down. Mike, wouldn't it just be nice to say, you know what? For what the Giants had to offer, they got the 28th ranked running back room with the potential of being the 22nd ranked. Like, can't they go? Don't they ever go that way, Mike? Is there anything ever good to say about the Giants?
I think they should be coming to this season, because last year they were ranked 23rd at season's end in rushing, and I find it hard to believe with Scatterbo being drafted. Now they're 32nd, So when I saw that, I looked into the offensive line, and last year they were ranked 25th overall at season's end. And for some reason, they got them ranked 28th coming into this season, the offensive line, which is kind of weird.
Again, weird's not the word. Yeah, weird's not the word, Mike. You, Mike, are being polite and kind. How do you go in with healthy? Like, we didn't have Andrew Thomas last year. We were moving the center around, the guard around. Illuminor was new, and we're telling we went backwards with Illuminor entrenched in at right tackle, with Thomas back, and then bringing Runyon back and healthy with GVR being able to play center or guard. And then you've got a couple young guys, including Bo. I don't know if Bo, but how do they go backwards, Mike? How did they go backwards?
I don't understand that. I agree with you. How do you go backwards? How do you assume that they're going to be worse offensive line, especially with the offensive line coach showing that he did help these guys from Johnson when Johnson was here? I don't understand how they could perceive that them to be weaker.
I know it's kind of like this is like the pre-prom, right? Like, people are just waiting for the season to get started and come back. So there's only the diehards, like Mark and Cold, and these guys are diehard family, Rush family. But you gotta tell your people, your friends, your family to stop reading this garbage. And Sean, we don't the fans only make it more popular by reading it, quoting it, saying that these guys know what they're talking about, and it just grows. And it's annoying. Sorry. It doesn't make any sense. Mike just laid out for you, a bunch of very, easy, low-hanging fruit. Be like, the line's healthy and back, and you got Scatterbo, this and that. How do we go backwards? What makes it go backwards?
I really don't know. And I mean, it's easy with Giants fans right now because everybody's negative, understandably so, because we won 3 games last year, 6 the year before. So it's just all right, anything that's negative come out, they want to believe it. They're like, we're awful. We won 3 games. We won 6 games. We're terrible. Of course we have the 32nd rank. But again, anybody who has anybody and has football knowledge understands that there's just no way. Truth, that was an excellent point, man. You have wherever we finished the season and we actually upgraded and now we're ranked lower. Did they look at it based on what the schedule is and thinking we're not going to have yards? What was the criteria behind it? I don't understand. Like I said, I don't like giving them any credence at all. I ignore anything that comes out of them. The only time I use them is if somebody else is using an argument and I'm like, all right, well, this is what your guy said and the company that you like. So here's how that works. But other than that, it's just, man, I'm so over it. I'm so over this crap. Again, even ESPN coming out saying we're the 27th ranked roster. I get, we got to prove, we got to make wins, but that's not how the ranking should happen. It should go by the talent that's on the team, and the talent, there's more talent. There's more talent on this roster. Now they got to prove it.
Team. Think about it. The 27th ranked team.
Please.
Listen, again, I'm not trying to be biased. I'm just being straight up. The Giants roster improved in almost every category. Yeah. Right? We improved that quarterback, running back. We are defensive line. linebacker or slash edge, cornerback, safety. Like we're better in every category. It's the first time we've like strongly addressed, some of these massive holes, and they still just find a way to be like, nah, not good enough. Like, I mean, if they bomb, they bomb, but because the schedule is hard. But you can't tell me that they're the 27th ranked roster. I mean, one man alone last year, Dexter Lawrence, led the league in sacks to like week 7.
Well, to the point of like the credence of that 3-letter company, they actually said he's like the double team rate that he had last year was like head and shoulder, like nobody was even remotely close. But yet they ranked him the number 2 interior D lineman and the number 19th player on their list overall. Like, guys, you can't say that somebody is double teamed as much as they are and then say they're the number 2 interior D. Nobody else was even close on the defensive side of the ball. So if that's the logic, then he's got to be number 1. Like, so again, this is where I'm saying that their credibility is out the damn window. It was like something like 80% or some ungodly high number. And the next closest person was like 25%, I believe, or something like that. How is he not the number 1 interior D lineman on your list? It makes zero sense.
The moral of the story, people, just stop reading that garbage and telling other people that this is what intellectual football fans use. It's not. It's just not. Can we just be real? We use PFF, and I went against my own dictate there. We use it to win arguments. Can we not just be honest? We're literally using this company to win an argument on Twitter or with our friends, at the bar or something. We're literally using it, to win. There's nothing substantial that comes out of there you couldn't get anywhere else, and it just become easy. But I don't know. I just wish people would just stop the nonsense and be like, these guys are full of crap. I know I have, I'm looking at the eyeball test, or I'm looking at this, I'm looking at that. I can make my own assumption. Guy was a wide receiver, for crying out loud. Last time, when's the last time, guys, we took a guy, switched his position, and, he had whatever he had, 1,100 yards rushing or receiving. Like, when does that stuff happen? Is anybody like hanging around a 5th round draft pick that's been that good?
No. I mean, they're not looking at it again. I don't know what they're doing. I don't. I really don't know what they're doing. And the problem is, like, and this is across all sports too. Like, people don't rely on their eyes. They're like, oh, the eyes are they lie. It's the numbers, and this. Listen, there's enough people that if you watch it, you can see what you're doing. You can't tell me that Tyron Tracy's the worst running back in the league. Heck no. Heck no.
Yeah, or even double down and say, a combination of Singletary and Tracy are the worst running back duo in the league. Oh, and by the way, and Cam Scatterboot will not make them any better. Which is
I know.
It's lazy. It's just thinking lazy. So, folks, wrap it up in a bow. Stop quoting it, using it, tagging it. It's just let them live in their la land, and you Giants fans know what you see on the field. You know what you see on the field. You understand that, like, Tracy's got a lot of Ahmad Bradshaw on him, and it's going to be nice to have him in the fold on year 2. Truth, I'm not a big analytic guy in that realm, but there are some analytics that we are going to get into, Truth, and that's when Spartan Mike actually rolls out his fantasy football this year. Truth, like, do you play fantasy with your friends or no?
No, I don't. And maybe
Sean,
I should. I really haven't.
Truth, you got to play, man. You got to play. You got to beat Spartan Mike.
No, I don't. I like the real thing.
Yeah, that is true. But I know people enjoy it. Sean, you were a fantasy football guy, right?
I played last year with some guys I know. I finished second in that league. So, but I hadn't done it for a few years prior to that. So I kind of took some time off because And this year I'm kind of thinking about it too, because a lot of times I was doing it because the Giants weren't good, but I just got a good feeling, and I really want to be totally focused on the Giants this season. So I may not play fantasy football because that's how I feel. That's how optimistic I am about. But I'm realistic, but I'm
Fair
also
enough.
optimistic.
That's fine. I mean, let's Spartan
I want
Mike's
to fully
going into
focus
year,
on them.
and I'm with you, yeah, because like I have a tough time always rooting for like the tight end for Dallas or the defensive
Right.
end for the for the Bears or whatever it is. So
Yeah.
I get it. And you guys should pay attention. And we all love Nacho, and you know what Nacho.
Tune in to Giants Rush every Monday, baby. Rush every Monday, baby. Rush every Monday, baby.
And that's our boy Nacho saying tune in every Monday. And we are here every Monday. Spartan Mike will be rolling out pretty soon. The fantasy football year 3. Again, year 1 was a Monty Toomer autographed jersey. Last year was a Hakeem Nicks autographed jersey. We're still working on the grand prize. So, guys, make sure you're either pinging Mike or me. Make sure you guys get in there. And you're right, Mark. This is my lifestyle, my life. Craig wants anyone to crush Spartan Mike, and I do. I do. Someone's got to beat that schmarmy SOB at his own game. So we can't let
How
Mike
long has he been doing this?
Well, we're
He's
coming up
won,
on
like,
year. This is coming up on year 3, Mike, and he's either he wins the whole thing every year or he's at the top, and he always has a really, really good year. And I think Joe might have just barely squeaked by him this year for a win. We got some good people playing, a lot of fun. So I'm just mentioning it to people, that it's coming up. So lockdown, I'm not sure. I think we're going to move the price tag up a little bit so we can get bigger prizes. So that will be cool. Not much. I think we'll move it up like $5 just so we can secure something really cool this year. And yes, 100% Mark B. I'll throw this up there. Where'd it go? Nacho took a selfie of me, Mark T, and others last year at training camp. Yep, without a doubt. Nacho was very cool, Mark, approachable. We hope we can, hang out with him again this year. So Sean,
Yeah.
Bart and Mike's going to roll. If we have a second league, we'll get you in there to host the league. There is like a good segue when we talk about, camp and coming into camp with 27th ranked roster and all that stuff. And that's like we can start this in 2 places, but let's just start it off with we think the roster's good. They don't think the roster's good. So let's just talk about defense. Can the Giants really have a top 10 D? Do they actually have, or does Bowen have to take his head out of his butt to let these guys loose? Or is the talent going to rise to the occasion and really push for domination?
I think it's going to be both. So the first part of your question, I think they can be a top 10 D. I think they could potentially be a top 5 D as well. But I do believe they can be a top 10 D. I believe the talent's there, but I also believe Bowen's going to unleash them. Again, this is year 2. So we had the 32nd ranked offense last year. So this is the year that fairly judged Bowen, in my opinion. But I think he's going to have. Did we seen some things that Abdul Carter let out that clip, showed some schematical things that Bowen was doing, which I think we interesting. I think Carter's going to be lined up all over the field. They're going to utilize his skill set. I think you see the videos of the work that Kayvon's putting in this offseason. He was video today with him working on some wrestling moves and stuff. So he's putting in the work, developed a spin move. So if he's taking it seriously and he improves, absolutely. And then you get guys like Darius Alexander, Chauncey Golston. Ledbetter's a guy that I said is going to name to keep an eye out for. That's going to fill in nicely, I think. So, that D-line can be nasty. And then you add like Adebo and Javon Howland in that secondary with the leadership, their understanding of the game and directing those younger guys. Yeah, I truly believe they can be a top 10 defense. And that's not like being bullish or rose-colored glasses. You just got to look and see what they have.
Truth, what do you think? How about this, Truth? Let's flip that question on its ear. Truth, what would stop them from being a top 10 defense? Like, is there something that because right now roster's pretty good. You know, it's deep in some places not. But like, if it's going off the rails, what's gonna have to derail these guys? Because the talent's pretty deep.
Injuries. If key players such as Dexter Lawrence, if Dexter Lawrence gets hurt any length of time, they're not going to be a top 10 defense, regardless of what kind of year Javon or even Carter have. I mean, Dexter is the glue to that defense. He really is. Like Sean mentioned, the double teams. Offensive linemen noticed Dexter Lawrence, so he's the focal point. So injuries would prevent them. But I do think if they stay healthy, they are definitely a top 10 defensive team.
I like that. I like that a lot. I'll at least throw a little of my 2 cents in there, and Bowen has to Bowen has to figure out how to use his personnel better. You know, he's got to know what these guys do better, right? Because fans like to put players down what they can't do. And I can give you a laundry list of guys. Like, there's flaws on Banks, there's flaws on McFadden, there's flaws on Fox, there's flaws on Okereke, there's flaws on Newman, right? There's flaws on guys, but we don't want to expose their flaws. I need Bowen to be intelligent enough to come up with aggressive style defense that fits the players we have. Last year did not seem that way. Did not at all feel that way for him talking about pass rush all year. And then it just doesn't happen, right? And then you get, hey, we got Banks, who's a zone corner. Oh, no, we're going to run man. I mean, like, everything's just like backwards. So injuries 100%. Number 2 for me is that Bowen does his homework and he knows what he has now. And then he can help those players be put in the right position. It could be something simple like that McFadden blitzes in the A gap on 1st and 2nd down, and then Carter comes in to play middle on 3rd down. Or it could be something as simple as, we need to get Alexander in the game. Let's not just let him grow old on the bench. Let's rotate him in and see if you got the next OCU Manure or something, right? Like, I want to see these guys especially Bowen, lead the way with a scheme that maybe intimidates some folks or puts the fear in some folks. Truth, does that make sense?
No, yeah, it's great points. And if you don't mind me adding this, the Giants during their early 2 Super Bowls, they had 2 of the best defensive minds in Parcells and Belichick. And what they did, they let their best defensive player just play football. They didn't restrict him. They didn't make him play one side. They let him do whatever he really wanted. I mean, he was a great player, Lawrence Taylor. And I'm not comparing Abdul Carter to Lawrence Taylor, so please don't jump on me. But I think that's the same approach that I do with Abdul Carter. Once he gets his feet wet in the NFL, they got to let that kid just play. Let him play. Move him around. I think Sean mentioned that. Let him just play football. I think you're going to see a much better defense from the Giants if they do that.
Yeah.
There was a clip going around with Carter the other day at Penn State. They lined him at the 3 technique. He dropped back into coverage and then just absolutely obliterated a receiver coming over the middle of the field. Like, the fact that he was able to get back that quick, and then because the play was to his left, and then diagnose the play, read it, and then get over there. I don't know if you guys saw that clip, but there's no doubt in my mind when they saw this that they're going to utilize him that way. He's going to be the Swiss Army knife out there without a doubt, because he just moves at a different speed than a lot of players on that field. And I absolutely believe that's what we're going to do. He can be in coverage. He'll spy quarterbacks. He'll spy Jaden Daniels. He'll spy Jalen Hurts at times. They're going to play him in all 5 positions, like however many positions he play. I do believe with what they said and we saw that's what they're going to do with him. So, I'm excited to see what he's going to do. Again, he moves at a much different speed than other people on that defense.
Not all football players are created equal, for the record.
No.
You can have some really nice football players, and then you get guys like Carter that are PA guys playing for PA schools in Penn State, playing in the Big Ten. They know how to grind. They know how to like get it done. And now he's in a position where they're going to rely on him. And whether he comes, in the A and the B, or he comes outside in the C and the D, whether he's dropping into pass coverage on tight ends, he's going to be moved all around the place, which is again what we're looking for, which should allow all those things that we talked about a minute ago, just alone the roster is better on signing Carter. So, again, not to digress, but, the team could have a top 10 defense if they stay healthy.
Yeah.
They could have a top 10 defense if Bowen knows his personnel and knows what to do with them. And thank you, James. I threw that up there. Hit the like button. We definitely want you guys to subscribe. I talked to some folks, and I do know that when you subscribe to stuff, they're like, I get too many alerts, right? I'm subscribed to 15 shows, so I don't need any more alerts all day long. I get it. We get it. That's also fine. Just if you don't mind, then if you don't want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, just either download an episode you like, maybe follow us on Twitter, interact with us some way or another. We like, even in the comments, just if you don't want to subscribe, just talk about the show, what you like, what you didn't like. You're like King's the best. We'll make sure we heart those. You say Joker and Truth are the worst. We'll heart those. Anything that you want, just drop into the YouTube channel comments. We'd love to hear from you folks. So thank you. So thank you, James.
Real quick, Craig, with Carter, and I know you guys know this. I'm not saying anything that you guys don't know. If he does play to what we expect him to play, he'll make plays around him better too. He'll make Kayvon Thibodeaux better. He'll make Okereke better. He'll just make other plays better if he does perform the way we expect him to.
Yeah, 100%. And I still want to come full circle here. Bowen needs to know who he has and what they can do, and then he needs to let them go. All right. If you don't let them go and you keep all the, the chickens in the hen house, it ain't gonna help you. It's got to be dynamic, and if it's not dynamic, it's basically another year of this. So we can't have that. So you don't get a top 10 defense without Bowen actually having some say and some input into where these guys are, right? Maybe it's maybe it's even, they tried to put Isaiah Simmons at safety last year, right? I mean, who knows? Like, just find me something that works and do it a lot. You know what I mean? Like, do it a lot. All right. So moving on. Again, appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We're here every Monday, 7:30, Giants Rush. Giants Rush YouTube channel, Giants Rush on Instagram, which we need to put some more content up there. Kind of waiting on some additional projects to come through, and there'll be more Instagram content. We also, for you guys that are new here, Truth does a show with Spartan Mike on Wednesday. It's called Rush Hour, where he talks about every single college player you want to talk about. And when I meet every player, they're talking about like the backup quarterback at Toledo and the inside linebacker, at Coastal Carolina. They talk about everybody. So on Wednesdays, remember, Rush Hour will kick in, during the college football season. So you could always have some more Giants content with Spartan Mike and Truth. All right, guys. Let me this is what's Colt saying? Tibbs should be putting in the work. It's his damn job. Yeah. Well, I think he's more interested in Fashion Week, my friend. But all right. So 210, 32. All right. Let's just talk about this. Real simple. Who will stay? Like we don't. This question for you guys is not about Daniel Bellinger, because everyone's just like, it's a Bellinger question all the time, and I'm like, who knows what they do at tight end? Who else, Sean, is just a bubble player where they're gonna make it, or they're not? And I don't want, like I said, and take Daniel Bellinger out of it, because whatever they're doing with these 4 or 5 tight ends, I can't make heads or tails of it. So just give me, Sean, the bubble guy that maybe surprises you, or maybe the bubble guy that you're like, whoa, this is really going to happen.
Well, there's two guys that I think it's really going to happen for. I think Josh Azudu and I think Eric Gray will be cut. Those are the two guys I think when it comes to that. I think with what was drafted, what was brought in, you got Turbo Miller waiting in the wings too. So I would not be surprised if Eric Gray is gone, and I wouldn't be surprised because you also because they listed Azudu, they have him listed as a guard right now, and you brought in some other guys that I think could overtake him, some vet guys. So those are the two guys that I believe.
And I mean, it's really a good point because it's just straight and honest. There's no bias there. Like you're not like you don't like one guy or the next guy. Like Eric Gray and Azudu just haven't had any flashes, Sean.
No.
They haven't, right? Tell me. Like, when's the last time you saw Azudu or Gray just have a breakout game or make a big rip off a big run or pancake a dude where you're like, wow, we underestimated him?
Gray was just that preseason game. That was it. And then Azudu actually was his rookie season when he was playing guard. The worst thing that happened to him was them moving him to tackle. Because, again, he was splitting reps with Bradison, and I thought he was doing pretty well as a rookie at guard. So it'd be interesting to see, if that helps or not. But I just think, again, that's the only times I can remember. Like I said, if you're talking about preseason for Eric Gray, that's not good. Right? Like, was there maybe one game last year where we had a couple runs or a screen pass or something like that, I think maybe. But I know the preseason game, he went off and said, it's Eric's great year. He's going to have a great year. And then he did.
I think the fact that they drafted Scatterbull kind of tells you where Eric Gray is going to be going. I think it's going to be, he'll probably be a cut casual.
I agree.
I mean, I can't really see how they improve keeping Eric Gray or Azudu. It just doesn't seem like it fits, right? But let's come back around to a player that James does not like. James does not like DeVito. He wants to clear that roster space.
Well, that's
right?
That's an obvious one.
Yeah.
Like truth.
A little
There's no way.
more risk.
Yeah, he's a camp body right now. Yeah. The pass listen, you can't
There's no way.
hate on the passing Paisan, James. Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, Tudo.
Yeah, Tudo with a donation.
I haven't seen him in a while.
We miss our Italian resident playing rugby. Appreciate you, Tudo. Thank you for that. Truth, is there any value in Azudu or Gray? Is there any value? These guys have now been on the team for 3 or 4 years and have not contributed.
Well, like Sean mentioned, Azudu had a good rookie year playing in the interior. I think for him, it becomes a numbers game now. Poor guy. I think with the addition to what they can also guard.
Okay.
Am I good?
Yeah, you're good. You broke up for a second, but you're good. You're good.
Okay. I think it becomes a numbers game in him, and he'll probably be a casualty cut, and hopefully he can find a team and continue his career in the NFL. But I don't think he'll be with the Giants. But I would like to bring up, before Sean brought it up, I thought the in the trenches were going to be the most interesting competition with the offensive line and defensive line. I think the defensive line has a lot of solid plays that we could see some surprise cuts there that, if they can't get them on a practice squad or keep them there, somebody's going to get a pretty good player. I think there's guys also,
what else, Mike? Who else?
That?
Who else is on the bubble, Mike? Give me more. Give me more names.
On the defensive side, I'm going to talk about.
You could pick the offense, defense, or special teams.
Okay.
I don't care. Give me another bubble guy.
I think a guy like Jordan Riley has to be careful because the additions they got, with Robinson and Ledbetter, and of course they got Alexander. He has to be careful along with the young kid who came in last year, Elijah Chapman. He's another kid who came on a UDFA last year, did a great job. But you guys know every year you got to compete. So I think those are the two names that I think could be surprises. I like both of those plays too, by the way.
No, dude. Listen, I'm gonna join Mark in the hot take here. That
Oh, boy.
guys like Chapman, guys like Manhurts, and the guy and who am I missing? There was another one I was gonna say, and I'm drawing a blank.
Before you bring it up, Craig, what do you guys think? Let's assume Riley has a great camp, so does Chapman. Would that and Ledbetter? Would that prompt him to maybe release Nunez Roche? Because it would bring a lot of money to the cap and not a big dead money issue.
I mean, me personally, I don't see Chapman making the team. Like there's my hot take that bye-bye. Him and Fox and all those guys are basically cleared out for Golston. The development of Alexander and a couple of these other guys, these new guys, Ledbetter, these guys. I don't think any of those guys are going to be around right now. Like I don't see Chapman. Like he's undersized. While he may be a scrapper, he might be a practice squad guy. I don't know, Sean. What do you think about Truth's question?
I think Chapman can make it. Yeah, I think Jordan Riley would be gone. Chapman showed a lot of flashes last year. Again, as a rookie, I know he's a little undersized, but I mean, even if he gets on the practice squad, that's good. But I think he showed some glimpses last year, and the dude's strong. Again, that was a name that I said to watch out for last year, and I think he proved me right. But I do think, I know Mark said that Ledbetter doesn't make it. I think Ledbetter's going to make it. He's a big body. He's a big dude, right? Yeah. They need more big dudes, and they sign him off season. So I think it would be guys that are there. I agree with Truth. I think Riley will make it. I can't remember. Is Davidson still there? DJ Davidson?
Yeah.
Is he still on?
He gets hurt all the time.
Yeah. Not for long.
That's what I'm saying.
I think that hurts him.
I agree. I think those guys won't make it, but I don't think you're gonna cut a second-year player in Chapman. I don't see that happen. If anything, worst case scenario, he goes to the practice squad. But I do think he showed enough flash, especially when those guys got hurt and he came in, and he was one of the guys that helped improve the run game when he came in. So yeah, I don't think he makes it. I mean, I don't think he gets cut.
So, there's some chat about Chapman. There's Azudu. There's Eric Gray, Riley. All these guys seem like bubble guys that are on the way out. Truth, any big names that you just think the Giants may pass on?
Big names?
Yeah, like A-listers.
Oh, no. I don't see it. No, I looked at the roster today, and I looked at all the players, and what would shock you? I mean, if anywhere is going to shock you, it might be offensive line. I can't see anywhere else where a big name would get cut.
What do you think about Manhurts?
See, that's an interesting one. The Giants, you're looking at, they got 5 tight ends. No way they're keeping 5 tight ends. I think we all agree that. But could they keep 4 tight ends?
Yes, if they can. Yes, they can.
Because you got each one. You got Theo Johnson, who's their projected number 1 guy.
Starter,
all like and showed some promise before he got hurt. Daniel Bellinger is in limbo, of course. And then you got the kid Thomas Fandone, who, by all means, if he never got injured, he was a top-rated tight end in the country. So there's some potential there. And what's his name is a beast. Manhurst is a blocking beast. So yeah, they all add value to this Giants roster. So they could keep 4 tight ends. It could happen because I don't think Faldone would last in the practice squad if they sit him down there. Someone's going to take him out of the practice squad.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. Practice squad.
Didn't they keep 4 last year? They had 4 tight ends last year, didn't they?
They had 4 last year?
You had Theo, Bellinger, Manhurst, and they brought on what's his name?
Late in the season.
Tampa Bay. They brought what's that?
No. Before that, they had another one.
No, it was Tommy something or
they had a guy. It was
he came from the
Eagles, didn't they? Oh, the Bucks, yeah.
No, he was from the Bucks. Like somebody in the chat. Who was the guy? Who was the guy? That was Tommy.
I got a blank. I don't even know.
Yeah, originally
You know what?
Sweeney. Thank you, Mark Thompson. Man, Mark
There you
Thompson's
go.
always good.
Yeah,
Yeah, Sweeney, Tommy Sweeney. Like, yeah, and I don't know if he gets a camp invite or not, but there's no. I think they could carry 4 or 5, no problem. But I think the hot take that I'm kind of stealing from Mark, but I want to make sure I give Mark credit for it. The hot take is I just don't think Manhurst does enough to come back.
Okay.
That's just me. That's just me. What I can't carry. I need
He's
guys
the
to
best
do
blocking
more
tight
than
end on the team.
I know, but like that's the point. It's all he does. Like I need
I mean, he caught a
well-rounded
touchdown
players.
last year. Caught a touchdown last year. He caught a touchdown last year.
All right, that well on the New York Giants, that's production. On any other team, that's not production.
Did any of our other tight ends catch a touchdown last year?
Yeah, they were all hurt.
I mean, and Manhurst is like, I like he's a beast, like Drew said. Like, so and it's a hot take. It's a hot take for a reason. I would be shocked if Manhurst doesn't make it.
All right.
I really would.
Here's another
I
question.
think
for
they
you
like
guys.
him a lot for what he does.
Here's
Go ahead,
another
Drew.
question. With that, if they like all these guys, would that prompt them to release Bellinger, who also gives them cap space and with less than money?
It's always possible, right? It's always possible. I just think that like Bellinger can get better at blocking. Fedone can, learn to block, and I think Manhurst is just very limited on what he can do. I don't see it, but it's a good problem to have when you've got 5 pretty decent tight ends. But I'd like to have one stud tight end.
Well, it's Theo. That's going to be Theo.
Theo's not a stud. Theo was never a
gonna be
stud
a
in Penn State.
Mark my
They
words.
never threw him the ball to make him a stud. I don't think stud is in his.
Well,
his
also the
future.
Giants system doesn't allow them to be studs too.
Correct.
Right. He's also
Yeah,
the second best blocking tight end on the roster. Theo.
My statement is less about his ability and more about around the Giants not letting tight ends be studs.
Right.
Be interesting to see though, because he was starting to come along before that injury where they were utilizing him more. So be interesting to see what they do with him this year. I'm curious. I'm very curious to see what they do. Also depends on who's calling plays.
Sure.
And wouldn't that also depend on how many wide receivers they want to keep? What they do with tight ends?
I mean, yes. If they all come in healthy, right? If they're a little banged up. Like
How many wide receivers do you guys think they're going to keep? Would you say
6? Right, because you got Neighbors, Wandale, Slayton. Hang on,
Hyatt?
Slayton. Who?
Hyatt?
Who? I'm just kidding. That's a joke. Just a joke.
No, you got me. I hope
I thought we were in a club there for a
What
minute.
about the return guy? The guy who could return kickoffs.
All right.
Morset.
How about the dude? How about the returner?
Yes, Smith Morset, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll make it.
And you got this special team guy, Ford Wheaton, who did great on special teams. Are they going to keep him?
All right. So that's Neighbors, Wandale, Slayton, Hyatt, Smith, and Ford Wheaton would be 6. Anyone else I'm missing?
They got a lot of guys in camp.
Well, look at what they kept last year, and no one know what they're going to have. Again, I forget what they kept. So, however
That's
many
what they had
receivers
right
they
there.
had
Those
last year,
6
I'm gonna
guys last year.
Yeah.
Didn't they?
I want to make a friendly bet with Mark. Mark, if Manhurst gets cut or Chapman gets cut and Ledbetter get cut, I'll figure out what I'm gonna do for you. But if all 3 of those make the team, then you're gonna bring me into your home, not your home, but your country, and it's gonna be on you. I'm gonna come visit because I don't think those guys are gonna get. I don't think those guys are gonna get cut. So let's make a friendly bet here, Mark. I don't think Manhurst will get cut. I don't think Ledbetter's gonna get cut, and I don't think Chapman's gonna get cut.
As Cold knows, well and more than most folks, and he agrees with Craig. They won't use him enough to make him a stud. Why does Cold agree with me? Because
It's good to be the king.
there you go. I am fully believing that they are not keeping guys around anymore that are stiffs. If you can't do two jobs, you're not going to be around long this year because everybody's getting chopped if they don't produce. And Manhertz isn't a guy he's not a bad player. I just don't know what you do with him.
Every team has just a blocking tight end, though. Every team does that. Every team. And he's the best blocking tight end on the team. We all know.
I think that's overrated. Best blocking. I just think it's overrated. I think it could be like points away. Like one guy's an 84 and one guy's an 87. That makes him the best blocker on the team. I think those kind of benchmarks are a little overrated. The Giants need offense.
If I'm not mistaken, he also played with Russell Wilson in Denver.
That is something that is interesting because he might be QB friendly, right?
Yeah,
that's what I mean, right? I mean, people brought up Dolchus, but I think Manhertz was there, has that experience with him, and he block, he knows what to do. So, yep, that's another reason why I think it was make it.
Great.
And again, I think for our guy that we like, he's our guy we've had on the show, but I think the drafting of Fedoni kind of spells the end of our guy, unfortunately.
Well, don't forget Dolce's still on the team. Dolce's going to go because he's already been cast out after he got drafted, out of UCLA last year. He's on his second team. Dolce will go before Bellinger. But
yeah, he will.
Well, I think both those guys will go. I think not that what I want to happen. I just think both those guys will go.
I think it's a possibility, Sean. I agree.
Because I don't think you can't put Bellinger on the practice squad, right? He won't make it, I don't think. But
no, he'll get picked up. Someone will pick him up.
He'll get picked up in a heartbeat.
Yeah. So I think that's what happens.
Yeah, I just said for me, truth, it's Manhertz. Like I'm not keeping a guy to block because he caught one touchdown. You know what I mean? I'm gonna ask Bellinger and I'm gonna ask Theo to be better blocking tight ends. Look, they ruined Shockey's career on making him a blocking tight end, right? So I'm not gonna ask these guys to block 70% of the time. You know what I mean? But
Theo's the second best blocker on the team for tight end.
Again, it's not that good. You're using it in a vacuum, right? The offense sucked. So even though he was the best blocking on the Giants, it wasn't good blocking, right? Like, I mean, It was, and then he got hurt halfway through the year. So like we have to kind of put it in context. Like for the New York Giants, not any other team, but for the New York Giants, Manhertz and Theo were better than Sweeney and Bellinger. But these guys don't catch balls. I mean, if you don't catch balls, I don't see the value.
But what other tight end caught a touchdown pass last year?
I know, but you're talking about one.
That's one more than anybody else on the team.
But that doesn't warrant production.
Well, I mean, that's production. That's production. You catch a touchdown pass, that's production. So we'll see. Like I said, and Cole, it's not rose-colored glasses. I'm just speaking facts, my man. Speaking facts.
He's speaking facts that one guy caught one touchdown, and he's the best blocker on the worst offense in the league. So take it with a grain of salt.
He's also well respected across the league as a blocker. Like everybody says it when he came here. But I get your point. I get your point.
He's
we'll see what happens.
He's been respected so much that he's been cut 5 times.
Listen, you got Cole's saying it too. You talk about one damn TD. He was the only tight end to catch a touchdown pass last year. The only one to catch a touchdown pass.
Name our tight ends that are better than Jake Ballard right now. None of them. None.
Yeah, Theo will be better than Jake Ballard. Mark my words.
We do hope so, right? We do hope so because there's
very underrated tight end the Giants had, Jake Ballard. Boy, I'll tell you.
Right.
Yeah.
He came out of nowhere, right?
Good dude. Didn't catch a lot of passes at Ohio State. And then, of course, we have celebrated the guy a couple times on Rush here. If you ever want to see the Jake Ballard interviews, they're on the YouTube channel. Really good dude. And, wasn't really known as a pass catcher, right? He had like 40 receptions at Ohio State. But, dude, when they threw him the ball.
He caught the ball.
He caught everything. He really did.
Yeah. If not for injuries, it shows you how good he was that Belichick picked him up even when he was on injury. Belichick picked him up. That shows you what he thought of him.
And yeah, Mark, Theo had a TV.
Did he? Okay. All right. So our two guys that had a TD are Theo and Manhurts. So there we go. Giants have always had that one good catching tight end and then that other good blocking tight end.
I don't
Always
know,
had
man.
it. Always.
Shockey was a good blocker and a great receiver. Bavaro was.
But they
a
also
great
had their
blocker.
second tight end who was a good blocker.
When the Giants
Which
when
was
they
Bear
had
Pascal.
Pavaro, Cross, and Moat, that was their best
Yep.
tight ends.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And again, we
Yep.
didn't throw the ball a lot back then, but we made sure the tight ends got 4 to 5 balls a game. We don't throw the ball. I don't really give a shit who catches them. I just want them to use the tight end more. And that's going to fall on Dabes to find that mismatch with the linebacker and have Wilson get the ball to the tight end. I mean, there's no way around it. Russell did like to throw to Freiermuth, and he just, again, we have to have the play. We can complain that they don't catch the ball, but unless the coach puts the play in, it doesn't even matter, right? They're not going to have the opportunity. So, yeah, I know, I got it. All right.
I mean, but also around the league, like there's only a handful of teams that utilize the tight end a lot. It's a receivers league right now. That's what the league is doing. So
Yeah, but
I
the
know we
tight
like it.
ends
I know
are-
we're used to it, but it's a
There are a
league-wide
few
thing.
tight ends that are excelling, right?
Yeah, and not only
Ryan
that, guy,
had a great year, right?
and Mike, the tight end is not a tight end anymore, right? I mean, the tight ends are like almost like big wide receivers, like Trey McBride, or these guys come in and they're, or like Ingram, they're 6'3" and they're like 230
No, it's-
instead of like 265. You know what I mean? So these tight ends now are more hybrid. You know what I mean? Like they can line in the slot, they can line up tight, you can split them out wide. And they're freaky athletes. So, but all good points all the way around. Let me segue over to where was it? Where is this? I'm looking for. I had something I want to show you guys. Now I can't find it. All right, so let's go back to topics. All right, let's talk about rookies. Right, we did a little bit of this last week, Sean. Like, your pick was Alexander.
Yeah.
So, like, we can this is every week we should talk about rookies you want to pop, right?
Okay.
And by the way, rookies could be some UDFAs too. They don't have like that's still a rookie.
Yeah.
What's the rookie? Give me another rookie that the Giants are going to need to pop to have success. I mean, like, it doesn't have to be your prediction on who's going to pop, but for the Giants to win 8 games, have a shot at the wild card, what rookie has to pop?
Are you asking me or Sean?
I'm asking that to Sean, and then it's going to come right around to you, Truth.
Yeah. So are we not going with the obvious choice?
You can go anywhere you want to go. But if you give me the obvious choice, it'll be less of a conversation.
Right. Well, then, okay. So depending on how we go with pop. So there's a guy that, okay, I'm going to go like, there's one I want to say, it's not the obvious choice, but I'm going to go a different route because, we've had injuries along this position the last couple of years and we've kind of struggled. So I'm going to go with Marcus Bowe. As a guy, if he does well, it's really going to help the Giants because if an injury should happen somewhere across that O-line, with him coming in and being solid, being really good, I think that allows us to get that 8 or 9 wins that you were talking about there. So Marcus Bowe is the guy that I think needs to pop.
And do you think, like, sometimes you see linemen pop, sometimes you don't. Is he even going to have the ability to pop as a rookie? Like, sometimes the game's too big for him.
Yeah, I think he will. Like, and again, I've said this. I think it said it maybe last week or the week before. Just go watch what he did against Abdul Carter, and they'll tell you all you need to know what he can do. And again, he had a serious injury why he dropped in the draft. I think he's undervalued with what he can do because people are just looking where he was drafted. And let's not forget, you don't need to be a first or second round draft pick as a lineman to really pop and be really good in this league. I know people like, oh, you got to draft the first round. They got to be second round. That's not how it works with a lineman. But again, he would have went higher than what was the fifth or sixth round he went this year if he didn't have that injury. So that's a guy I think can come in. You look at his footwork, you look at his speed. I know they talk about he's got shorter arms, but I could care less about that. I absolutely could care less. That's just looking at putting somebody in a box and say this. Just watch what he does on tape. Watch what he does on the film, and you'll see his ability, especially when it comes to like stunts and twists. Man, there was one clip that I saw where he hit the guy on the outside and moved to the inside and got it right away. He recognized it, diagnosed it, and then again, watch what he did against Abdul Carter, and you'll see that this he's ready to play.
Truth, who's the guy that the Giants need to pop if they're going to win some games? Like, it could be a UDFA, as long as he's a rookie.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you talked about this last week. You talked about this already. Darius Alexander would have to be my pick on him because the Giants gave up 130 plus yards a game last year against the run. And Sean brought up about Dexter being double teamed. I think if this kid has the kind of potential that everyone's talking about, you're not going to see many teams double teaming Dexter any much longer once this kid starts to play. So I think that's the kid that's going to hopefully, maybe make that about maybe 100 to maybe 110 yards a game, the running game. Knock down a couple of yards there to give the Giants a chance to have a good running defense. And the kid can also rush the passer. He's a dual threat.
Yeah, great minds, Truth. That's who I said last week.
Oh, I didn't even know that. You talked about him?
Yeah. So great minds. Good choice.
I'm sorry. Let me bring up someone else now.
No. That's a good one to bring. You can bring up again because it's you. You weren't on last week. So, no, that's a good name. You just made me look good again. Thank you.
And I last week, Truth, went with Scatterboo because, the Giants do need, Scatterboo's hands are so good, out of the backfield that, we need more production out of the offensive backfield. You get to a point where this Scatterboo can literally have 1,000 yards receiving before he has 1,000 yards rushing, right? Because he's like that, that Derek Ward or Ahmad Bradshaw role where he comes in as he gets 3 or 4 carries a game. But he could get another 3-4 carries a game through the air because he could be like a step back, screen pass, utilize him in that game. He's got good speed and he's hard to bring down. So last week I went with a rookie that's got a pop for the Giants to have success was Scatterboo. You have any opinion on Scatterboo, Mike?
Great pick. I mean, I praised that kid, and I think we talked about him a few weeks back when Spartan was on and Sean was on. I think this kid's going to do something that's going to make the crowd love him. The fans at Giants Stadium are going to love him. And you know how it is, Craig, because you have season tickets. When the fan base loves you and shows that, it's like adrenaline rush, And I think this kid is going to feed off it. I think he's going to be special once he gets a little more playing time.
I don't personally. My hot take is I don't see Hyatt doing anything anywhere. Not with the bad body language, not with the moping, not running back to the huddle. I don't see it. I just don't see it. Like we're making a big deal on this about this cat, and I don't see it. If he breaks out, Truth, it's huge, right? But
oh yeah,
I can still see. I just need the Giants to have that depth, and they do have that depth. So the guys like Bo and the guys like Alexander, like I'm expecting them to be better than Sean. What was the guy from Connecticut?
Matt Parrott.
Yeah, always forget that cat name. Like
he's forgettable.
We need guys to be better than Parrott and Zudu. Like we just need that to happen. It's got to happen. Like we can't get around that, right? So for me, I don't even care what rookie it is, just long as they can contribute. When's the last time we have these? We don't really have rookies that walk in and contribute right away. So guy like Scadaboo, guy like Bo, guy like Alexander can definitely come in and make an impact right away because the Giants have to hit the ground running. Truth, the schedule's rough.
Tough schedule. Yeah, tough schedule.
Cold wants to know. I'll give you the skinny. Cole is pretty. Why do people like him so much? Because he's fast. Scadaboo's not really fast, right? So, like, overall.
No, he's talking about Hyatt. He's talking about Hyatt.
Oh, my bad, Cold. I think
Hyatt.
his straight line speed is fast.
I think because his college career, that's why I love him so much.
He's a Biletnikoff winner. Yeah. You win the Biletnikoff award. I mean, that says something about
it. He had
it.
that phenomenal game against Alabama, which always has prospects in the secondary.
Yeah.
So
that was my bad.
You should go watch the Rush a few weeks ago because we discussed this on Rush. Why the deal with Hyatt? Craig brought it up, so you have to refresh your memory. We made some good points on why Hyatt's talked about so much. But yeah, the Biletnikoff award winner. He scored 5 TDs against Bama. He's fast. I mean, listen, coaches like speed too. Like it's not just fans. Like coaches like speed. You can't coach speed. So yeah.
Mark's got a great question. Mark wants to know how many O-line bodies we keep. I would say 9, but again, I don't even know how many times we can go down the well with Neil. Neil will dictate, I think, how many bodies you carry. Because if he's not playing well, you might have to go 10 because he's got to get yanked, right? Or with the injury
I think 10
history, of Thomas. So it could be 10. I don't know if you can name me the 10. I don't know who the 10 would be.
I'm going to be the dissenting vote. I think they go 9. I think they go the same as last year.
Well, 9 was last year, right? They had Thomas, Runyon, Smith. They got Van Ruten. They got Illuminor. How many is that right there? 5. They got the kid Hudson, James Hudson, the tackle. He's going to make the team as a backup, right? You got Marcus Bowe. He should make the team. That's 7, right? You got Neil. That's 8. And I know Sean's going to love this one. Jake Kubas should make the team. That's
my guy.
That's my guy. That's 9. So who's that 10th guy? You got Stone Forsythe sitting there. You got Austin Schlottman. He got hurt last year, but he was going to make the team. I mean, that's interesting. It could be 10, but it could be 9 too.
And you counted Kubas as 9?
I did.
Yeah.
Well, also keep in mind, gentlemen, that there are guys that get cut. They get cut into the
from other teams that we pick up.
100%.
Yeah,
that's what happened with right. Like JVR was looking for a home. Sometimes guys don't get re-signed. Some guys get cut. So 10 could be someone from another team's roster. Mark Thompson said he has his 10. He's going to spit it out for us. All right, spit that out for us because we're going to wrap up pretty soon. Light show. Johnny, what do we? Hang on. James is riffing on Manziel. Won the Heisman College Awards. Don't always mean you're going to be good at the next level. Look, James,
that's in response to what I said about Hyatt.
Yeah, I'll flat out tell you this. They don't mean crap. You know what I mean? When they get awards, popularity contest, you look good on a program. Most of these guys don't make it, right? So yeah, I'm with you, James, a whole 100% of the way. Some guys got crazy good talent that never gets seen. Some guys have average talent, they get seen, and then they peter out, and it doesn't come to fruition. So I'm with you, Thomas. Oh, let me throw this up on the screen.
Yeah.
You got Aaron
our resident architect, Mark Thompson, says Thomas, Runyon, Schmidt, JVR, Luminar, Hudson. That was the one I was looking for. Bo, Kubis, Neil, and Stinny. That was the one. That was the guy. I think that was the one. Stinny, I think, Mark. Not Mark.
They brought him back.
Sean, I think Stinny is the one that we were looking for before.
Oh, we were talking tight ends. You got him confused as a tight end instead of O-line.
No, I meant when we segued over, I was trying to think who was that guy that got some playing time But yeah, you're right.
Oh.
Like I
You
was
could see
thinking that.
10 offensive linemen, Mark, if that's the case, what you put down there.
Yeah.
I think
Stinny's
it's a
the guy.
possibility.
Like I was thinking, like Stinny. One of them came from Minnesota, and one of the I think Sweeney or whatever. One of the tight ends came from Tampa. So I got that mixed up. But
Yeah. Yeah, Stinny's from Tampa too, and it'll be interesting because he was part of a Super Bowl winning team as well, so they keep him. I wonder. I know Stone Forsythe was the guy. I know Hudson was the newer guy. Wasn't there a third lineman they signed in the offseason, Truce?
I can look
Hudson.
it up.
Yeah, there might have been. Yeah.
So Hudson.
Another
Forsythe-
was it another Hudson? Another last name of Hudson they brought in?
I don't know. I can't remember now. I know I thought there were 3 linemen they brought in. It's been interesting to see.
Mark, if you have that, pop it up.
Well, Craig's looking it up now too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna try. I'm gonna try.
Yeah,
Ross.
Forsythe. I
Stone
mentioned
Forsythe.
Forsythe, Hudson, and then I thought there was a third one.
Yeah, I can't think of who it is.
Too many things I got to remember. I can't remember all this stuff.
All right, let me try this because I couldn't find it under UDFA's or free agency. So let me try roster, depth chart, roster. Okay.
Hudson came from Cleveland, right? Forsythe came from Seattle. I thought there was a third one. I could be wrong, but I thought there was a third one.
All right, so the Hudson that Truth is talking about is Brian Hudson. He's a center, and he came from Louisville. He's got 1 year of experience, 6'5", 305. So,
Okay.
so Truth is right. There is another Hudson.
Two Hudson. Okay,
Right.
good job,
And
Truth.
then there's they signed another center. Again, these are just some of these guys are camp bodies, right?
Right.
All right.
Jim Morrissey. Okay, he's
Yeah.
another center. Played in the league for 3 years. Comes from Pitt. Then you've got hang on, let's see, corner. Let me look for tackle. Oh, guard. All right, so Kubas, Runyon, and Van Roten are your 1, 2, 3. Your guards, your true guards anyway. Because some of these guys aren't just true guards. And then O line. All right, Illuminor Rizzuto. I can't pronounce Forsythe.
Forsythe.
Yep.
Stone Forsythe.
Yep. So he's there, and then there's the other Hudson that we just talked about, James Hudson, 5 years in the league, O lineman, and then you got Schlottman still on the roster,
Right.
and Stinney and Williams are still on the roster.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of guys. The only true tackles they still have Evan Neal listed as a tackle. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think Mark may have a winner chicken dinner on 10. 10 could be the number.
Could be. He's saying if Stinney makes it over Forsythe. That's what I'll be curious about.
I think he's better than Forsythe, but
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I got, guys, right now. I mean, that we just ripped through an hour and 15 minutes. Guys, I haven't uploaded anything in a month to Spotify. I need to do that and Apple Pods and stuff like that. So sorry about that. We'll get this up for you guys if you want to listen back to it to see how wonderful we are. You can always do that. But definitely tell your friends, to pump up the YouTube channel. Fantasy football is on its way. I'm going to get some articles written. Truth writes some. I got Spencer Kessler out there writing some articles on because I'm dying for the analysis of the Eagles' young defensive tackle versus Dexter Lawrence, because down here in Philly, they rave about how he's better than Dexter, and I need some cold hard facts on that one. We'll be back next week. We are working on Jordan Renan from ESPN. I thought it was going to happen this week, but it might happen next week, so we're working on that. And look, we're at camp, guys. Pay attention to what happens. There's not a lot of hitting until they get to those. I guess you want to call them like actual game practices, right? When they bring in another team. So right now it's just guys running around in shorts and t-shirts. So,
Yep. That Jets practice will be huge.
Yep. So that Jets practice. So always appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys next week. And we're out. Peace. Let me. Oh yeah, got it. Always got a request for the. I always get these requests for the end of the show on what media I'm going to run. So I'm going to look for a new one here to end the show. Let me try. Let's see. I've got a couple in here. I got that one, the electric one. I got the girl in the pool. Let's end it with.
You got Mark Thompson's going to be in New York, guys.
Yep, we're gonna
end of July. August.
We're gonna hook up. We're gonna hook up a Mark. We hooked up Mark with some preseason tickets. We'll see you guys next week.